Science time. Today we're talking about engineering, science, and society. Engineering, science, and society. Your objective is to describe the relationships between engineering, science, and society. So we're going to have some definitions first, and I want you to, you've read all this. Let's be clear, you know all of this, or you should know all of this already. This is your chance to discuss with me what you learned from your explorations, and for me to tell you some of my thoughts about it. But it should be a give and take. I'll probably do most of the talking because I can't stop myself, but when you have something to add, you need to raise your hand and say, oh, I think this and this and this, and I will tell you what I think. And the primary reason we do it is so that we're all on the same page, so that we all have the same information going forward, or at least, I mean, obviously some of you will have more and some of you will have less, but I want us to all have the same information available. I don't have any illusions about this. Some people don't take great notes and don't really care, for lack of a better word, but I want everyone to feel like they have the information available that they need. Good? Someone define engineering for me, and I don't want to hear a rote recitation of what the explorations told you. I want to hear what someone thinks engineering is in their own words. Sage. You don't have to stand up for this, but if you want to, you can. I'm not trying to stop you from exercising your quadriceps femoris. If you want to stand up, please do. But if you don't have to. Yep. The thing I like the best about that is this first word that she chose, application of science. Is the cursive, can you guys read cursive? Well, okay, you can read cursive in general, but maybe not my cursive. Is that what you're trying to say, but you're being nice about it? This is the word engineering. This is the word application. One of the problems we're having is that I crossed my L, so it looks like application, which is not a real word there. That should make it a little bit better. Application of science. I'll try to go a little bit slower and more legibly. Application of science and math. To do what, Sage? To solve real life problems. I really like this. Did you actually make that up? Because that's really good. I like this definition a lot. It is good, though. I want to hear your thoughts about this, not Mr. HMH. Hooten and his buddy Mifflin and their company. I don't want to hear their thoughts about it. I want to hear yours. But I do like this, and now I'm not going to backtrack and say that I hate it now that someone else wrote it besides Sage, but I do like this. The noun here, application, comes from what verb? Apply. Science and math have been applied to a real-world problem to make a solution. Give me an example of this, and this will have to be your... No, it wouldn't have to because it probably told you an example, but I want to hear someone's own example. Come on, someone can think of something, surely.
For what?
I want like some real-world problem that we could engineer, that we could apply science and math to solve. It doesn't have to be a new one, just an example of one that has already been done. Let's hear it, Wes.
Construction.
Okay, what kind specifically?
Building construction.
Let's say the real-world problem is that Shadron ain't got a scooters. That is a problem. So how do we engineer a solution to the problem? Yeah, this is a real. I would even go as far as to say dumpy example. I would go as far as to say it's a dumpy example, but it is approaching an example of engineering. We have a problem, we're going to solve it. That applies to Wes's example of construction. I'm thinking of what's another problem that people have had. Let's think about even like ancient humans, like cavemen. They couldn't. Here's a problem. Here's another example. Can't haul all these, I don't know, what do cave people haul? Bones. I can't haul all these bones. So the solution is a wheel. And someone at some point, okay, I'm not making a historical reference. I don't actually know why the first person invented a wheel. It was probably a group of people. It's probably a cultural thing. But this is another pretty facile example, a pretty easy to understand, maybe not wholly accurate example. You can see that if someone had this problem, this would be a solution. And this is getting at, these two things are kind of circling the truth like a herd of vultures. We're getting at what is the core truth of engineering, which is where we have, society has problems, and you know society has problems, and the solution to those that involve the application of science and math, that's called engineering. Do you have questions about this? It says, imagine a team of engineers working to design a new car for a car manufacturer. It has to meet certain safety requirements, the needs of the market, and it has to be not too expensive. So those are all problems that have to be solved by engineering. And that's a good example. These are okay examples. I'll be a little bit more gracious. They're okay examples. Boomstick, yeah. Let's move on to this next thing then. Let's move on to this next thing. What is technology? We're starting a new thing, so I'm going to draw a little line here. What is technology? Okay, so it's a what did you say?
Something that makes you help
Something. Okay. Thing. Well, let's go a little bit farther and call it a designed thing. What does that mean?
Humans made it.
Yeah, humans made it. A designed thing that makes life easier. I'm going to also include / solves problems. That way it kind of relates it back to the engineering definition that we have that Sage made up and gave us. How are science and engineering related? Well, we said before that we can think of engineering as kind of like applied science. Science applied to a problem is engineering. How are technology and science related? What does science have to do with the designed thing that makes life easier and solves the problem? Okay, yeah, I like that. I really like that a lot, actually. I mean, usually when we were using words like thing, I kind of dislike it because it's too vague. But in this case, we use the word designed thing. So yeah, so science makes the, say it again, Garrett. I really liked it. Nice. I will say science can engineer / improve the proverbial thing that we're using here. The designed thing. Science can make that or improve it. Give me an example of technology. This should be super easy for you Gen Zs.
Computer.
Phone, computer, TikTok. They're all technology. You know about TikTok. Don't give me that, Tegan. I know you know about TikTok. You guys all know about TikTok. That's a technology. Does that make your life easier? Well, in some ways it does, because it allows you to see things that you would not normally see. Good or bad, it allows you to see things you would not normally see, and that is technically making your life easier. It's a design thing. TikTok is a design thing. TikTok is not part of nature. Someone did not go out to the TikTok tree and pull off one TikTok and shove it into your phone. TikTok is a design thing. It makes life easier or solves a problem. The problem was you didn't have enough of the corn song in your life, and so that solves that problem right there. So science engineers, or science and engineering, can design or improve a thing that makes your life easier, and that's technology. How does all of this relate to society? Well, let's talk about society for a second. Yeah, society. What do we mean by society?
People.
Yeah. The they, and she makes this gesture, yeah. The they. We'll even call it the they. It's a group of people, including us, right? We don't, when we're usually in rhetoric, when we're talking about society, like, ooh, society, we're usually like saying it's a different thing. Like, now I'm not part of this group of idiots, but society wants TikTok. That's usually what we're using, but we're part of society. It's the group. It's kind of like, and this is getting a little bit into like hippie witchcraft stuff, but it's kind of like the group consciousness. It's the way that we as human beings think about we as human beings. Some modern technology, such as snack food, you guys like that. Good, thanks for telling me. Continue to be developed due to consumer interests or wants rather than needs. That's so important. Who needs 3D Doritos? There is a truth here. Who needs 3D Doritos? No one needs 3D Doritos. Who needs all the TikToks about people teaching you how to dance? Who needs that? No one. So a lot of time, the technology is not influenced by solving these like problems of I'm going to starve to death, a tiger is eating me, I have a disease. They're not needs. They're usually wants. And that influences a lot of society. This is one of the most chaotic boards I've ever made, but you guys kind of understand where I'm getting these. There's arrows every place. This looks like a literal insane person did it. But do you understand that we're talking about engineering as a subset of science, the application of science? Technology as the application of engineering, and both of those things are helping, I'm going to make a circle here which will make it even more chaotic, society, the people of the world. Are societies different? Yes. Crawford has a different society than Chadron even. But the two of those together have kind of like the culture of northwestern Nebraska. Let's just leave Harrison out. No one cares. And then Nebraska as a whole has a society, has a certain culture. America as a whole has a whole culture, but there is also a world culture. People interact with each other enough now that there is a world culture, and all of these generate problems, and those problems can be solved by engineering, science, and technology. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything huge. And when I say it, I just want to be clear, when I say I'm not missing anything huge, it is not my goal to make sure that every single thing that was in the explorations is on this board, obviously not. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to make this, I want to give you a voice, let you say what you think about this. I want to try to help it be more understandable for you so that the major things that are super important you can get. Does that kind of make sense? That's how it's always going to be. I don't have any illusions that this is everything you need to know for the test. You will be given a test, but that's not really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to learn. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to learn. The test is so that I can see whether you gave enough of a crap to learn it. So I don't have any illusions that this is everything. But does anyone have anything else they want to add while I look for the other things that I should include? Oh, I have one. Where does all the designed thing stuff come from?
People's brains.
Okay, but the designs came from people's brains. But are we taking people's brains and making it into a cell phone? I hope not. No. No, I'm not talking about the ideas of the thing. I'm talking where's the stuff that makes up the things come from? Not ideas. Where's the stuff that makes up the things come from? The physical stuff. Resources. I'm going to make it over here. Resources. So natural resources. Thank you, Lucas. That's not really part of science. We don't. That's not scientific. That doesn't mean that it's not useful or valuable, but it's not within the realm of science. And so the resources. Maybe you're right. Maybe the resources, that is correct. That's not what this is about. But whether it is or not, the resources are the stuff that was part of nature. Now we're just straight sideways. The parts of nature that we use to make technology. It's how the resources are the nature that we then can turn into technology. All of them are unlimited, so we're really lucky in that, right? We all have super unlimited resources. We can do whatever we want from now until the end of time, right? No, absolutely not. Every single resource is limited. We have to use them wisely. It's becoming very clear that the more we use them, we're using them much faster than we ever thought we would, and that they're going to be gone in like tomorrow. That's an exaggeration, but I was watching a music video from Pocahontas last night with my son, and that is so true. But she says to that guy with the hat on, she says, you think Earth is just a dead thing that you can, I forget what the rest of it is, but basically you think Earth is just this lump that will always be there that you can just claim however you want. But we're trying to understand that is not the case. So we have to think of ways to use these more wisely, or else we'll use them too much. This won't work anymore. This can't be done without the resources, so everything falls apart. Your little TikTok life, your Champion's probably out. I don't know what is cool. Adidas, your little Adidas, TikTok, Reebok, your American Western society life falls apart if we use these too much, and that is almost certainly within your lifetime. Maybe even within my lifetime, but almost certainly within your lifetime. This is unsustainable, meaning that we can't keep going the way we are and have it continue to work out. And that it's a prediction, but it's more or less shown to be true, whether you believe it or not. There's not really believing. I mean, I know there's debate about, is this actually a problem? But the answer is yes, it is a problem. If we don't start doing something different, one thing is for sure, whether good or bad or how much, we don't know. But this cannot be the same forever. Questions? Are you sure? Does anyone else have anything to add? Okay.